In some US engineering textbooks dealing with temperature concepts, we find the mention of a temperature measured in a so-called Rankine scale. Very often, the relations between this temperature scale and those of Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin are described by the respective conversion factors. As with the other well-known temperature scales, it seems that this scale was named after a certain Mr. Rankine. Who was Mr. Rankine? The Rankine scale was named after the Scottish engineer William John McQuern Rankine. William Rankine worked as mechanical and civil engineer. Apart his career as professional engineer, from 1855 he was professor of civil engineering and mechanics at Glasgow University. He was one of the great contributors to the science of thermodynamics. Many of his studies were focused on the efficiency of heat engines and the science of energetics. He wrote several engineering treatises, being the one on the steam engine and other prime movers a reference manual for many years in the 19th century. He got international recognition and became a member of prestigious institutions. William Rankine published in 1859 his Manual of the Steam Engine and Other Prime Movers. In the Part 3, Rankine described first the furnaces and boilers which supply heat from burning fuel, and second, the engine by which the heated fluid performed work by driving mechanism. Previously, he discussed those laws of the relations amongst the phenomena of heat and mechanical energy, which constitute the principles of thermodynamics, upon which the work and efficiency of heat engines depend. When presenting the temperature concepts and ideas, Rankine introduces the definition of the absolute temperature scales in relation to the ordinary scales. Thus, in relation with the Fahrenheit scale, he proposes the respective absolute temperature where the absolute zero corresponds to minus 461.2 degrees Fahrenheit. This absolute temperature scale will be named afterwards as Rankine scale. With regards to the data available by 1859, Rankine calculations for the absolute zero of the centigrade scale led to the value of minus 274, very close to the minus 273.15 of today's calculations. This scale corresponds to the present Kelvin scale, proposed in 1848 by William Thomson, Lord Kelvin. Rankine calculations for the absolute zero of the Fahrenheit scale led to the value of minus 461.2. Today's value is minus 459.67. Nevertheless, the Rankine scale is very scarcely used. It seems that during the second half of the 20th century, people in the United States were creating programs and using equations that needed an absolute temperature, and they used Rankine before Celsius became dominant for scientific calculations. The reason people still sometimes use it in the aerospace industry is that there are a lot of programs that were developed using Rankine. So, to be compatible with those old programs, it's often simpler to just use Rankine in the new programs too.